Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to everyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. I'm going to give people a chance to find me here and make sure everything is working on the technical side. When you join me, please do say hello in the comments so I know you're here. I am about to get started. And let's see what's going on here today. Okay, it looks like I'm set. If somebody says hello, then I'll know that the comments are working and we can get started. See here. Oh, hello Gladys. Nice to see you. So today I am going to be using some things from the Expressions in Ink suite. Specifically, I'm going to use the Artistically Inked bundle, which is this stamp set and these lovely dies. And you may have seen on my blog today a card that we did in my monthly medley class over the weekend, which was this one. And I am really pleased with how this one turned out. It uses the new metallic gold, what is it? Gold and rose gold 6x6 metallic specialty paper, and it looks like our glimmer paper, but it's how am I going to describe this? I've struggled with this before. It glitters like the glimmer paper, except it doesn't have glitter on it, and it's not foil. It's kind of like if you took foil and you ran it through the subtle embossing folder, kind of, but it has glitter too. Anyway, it's gorgeous stuff. Absolutely gorgeous. And that's what we used on this card. But it was made with stamping images from this stamp set using the Stamparatus to get the positioning largely right to go with the die cut. Today, what I'm going to do is this card, and I blended ink onto the background to match up with the die cut, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's using the stenciling technique that I showed you a couple weeks ago now? Yeah, I think 2 times ago. Here I have all my stuff. Where I've pre-cut some basic white cardstock, and then what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut the die cut out of one side, and we're going to fold it over, and that's going to be our stencil, and it stays attached, so I don't have to worry so much about, well, I don't have to worry at all about adhering anything down or the stencil moving. I'm just going to give this a really nice crease there to hold that in place. And I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap grid paper so I don't mess up a pristine one. Hello, Paula. And for this card, I went ahead and I chose some of the colors out of the Designer Series paper in this suite. And my first one, I just used the blending brushes. Yeah, on this one, I used the blending brushes from Stampin' Up!, which are all one size. And even though I tried to get some variation in color on the leaves in particular, I'll bend that up so you can see, it was kind of a blunt instrument, and I got green on my pale papaya that I didn't really want. So, you know, it looks fine. It looks kind of neat, but I'm gonna bring in, I've got some that I bought off of an online source that were sold as makeup brushes, and they're really dirt cheap, but they've got some smaller sizes, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get a little more finesse in some of it. So I'm just swirling on color on my brush. Somebody suggested tapping it to get rid of big blotches of color, but I'm not really that worried about blotches on this since it's going to be covered up, and I'm trying to kind of go for some different intensities. So you can see I'm holding this down, but I'm not worried about it moving. So for that, I'm really liking this method of stenciling. I just thought that was so clever when I saw it. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. And I'm gonna come in with a little bit of my, let's go ahead and do the pink. This is polished pink. The first one was pale papaya. And bring this in here. I'm betting a lot of the Stampin' Up! Demos are off looking at the holiday catalog, the new mini catalog that went online today to look at. I took a quick look before I came on here. There's some good things in there. Good things. Okay. Now let's add some, a little more pink right down in there, maybe. Okay, so this is mint macaron. I'm going to do that on these little ones. See how well this little brush does. It may be too little, I don't know. Just have to see. See, the nice thing is I can actually lift it up and see. I don't know. Yeah. See if I'm getting a little more down here. Whoop. Okay, moving on. Let's do some Just Jade. And I'm going to use this other small brush. Right in this one. And now we'll move up to the shaded spruce. see, I'm getting that. That's not going to look too different from the Just Jade once we have, because the small brush is putting it on more intensely, I think. So. We'll get it on more intensely this way. Okay. I'm just going over a little more color on my fingers, apparently. Just gonna kind of fill in down here where the green is. It blends it together. You could play forever adding layers and layers of color, but we're about to call this one finished. I often take the lightest color that I'm using and just sort of blend all over. It just kind of does a finishing blend. I don't know how to describe it otherwise, but it just sort of keeps it from being quite so disparate. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. And unlike the last time I did this, I actually cut it to my finished panel length. So that's 13.9. And I cut it about 2 millimeters wider than I wanted it to be in the end. So I can slice off. Really, I did, I thought. We'll get it all lined up here. I won't have to spend so much time playing around with getting the right size, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, there's nothing happening with that. Okay, so now I'm going to add my sentiment. And this one I did the Hello in polished pink. I think this time I'm going to do the happy birthday. And I think I'm going to go back to the shaded spruce on that. Mostly straight. Let's see. So, get that lined up on there. Once again, that awesome color coordination. We'll get it here, and I will show you how to easily attach that die cut. I am not a fan, as you know, of the tape runners, usually for stamping projects. I am very much my liquid glue fan, but I saw this on a video and it is so quick and easy that I had to do it. Just a little tiny dab. See, this is why I'm not as much a fan. There we go. A little. It works better if you're not trying to be quite so controlling. If you're just going like that, it goes great. Really. There we go. A little bit of tear and tape might also be a good alternative to that, which is what I usually do. So just little dabs at the big flowers. This lines up there, lines up there. And that holds on really, really well. And then the little bit of sticky that comes through, you take your embossing buddy and just pounce on there, and it just neutralizes that adhesive. And there it is. Hello, Nikki. Thanks for joining. So there's one. So I got the colors a little bit darker and a little more contained on the leaves than I did on my first one. But I decided I also wanted to try it in non-sweet colors. So I will take this all the way back to the beginning for you guys. Bring in my cut and emboss. So here is my cardstock that I've cut and scored, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to bring in my die and position it where I want it on here. Those of you in North America are going to have an easier time because your paper is wider than ours. There we go. And put one over the top. So I found when I was doing these that I had some trouble getting, especially the centers, to cut out. And then I tried new cutting plates, especially the bottom one, and that made all the difference. Once I did that, it was easy as pie. So hopefully this one will show you. It'll be easy too. Oh, I know what I forgot on my last one. Let me bring this back in because I realized I forgot the bling. Can't have that. There we go. Good, I'm glad your card arrived on time. Happy birthday today, Nikki, or tomorrow for you, but I know it's now. So, I bring this back. And cut it. Oh. I got it a little too close to the edge there. We'll make it work. Oh yeah. See that? Almost nothing to have to poke. If I can just get a hold of it here. I still have my old tools, so I'm using them, but the die brush is now an attachment on the end of the take your pick tool. You just take that out, stick it in, twist it in. Likewise, there's a pokey tool there, but since I still have my old separate ones, I'm just using those since my die brush is still holding up. Go, one more little piece there. Look at that, nicely done. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Bring this one in. I think going to do a quick little mend right there with some washi tape. And I also decided that this time, well, okay, so we're going to change up the colors. And I've gone for some more subtles. So I did Highland Heather, Blushing Bride, Pear Pizzazz, and Mossy Meadow, which is actually in the neutrals, but same. It's a 2-shade darker cousin to the Pear Pizzazz. And instead of the brushes, I'm going to use sponge daubers this time. So let's see how this goes. So it definitely gives a bit more control over where the color is winding up. And let's see how we're going here. So one of Glenn's cousins turned me on to a show I've started watching. It's called Escape to the Chateau, and it was on BBC? Yeah, it was on BBC. I don't know. I found it online. I'm not quite sure where you might find it online, but if you can find it, it's very fun. It's a British couple, really quirky couple, who purchased a chateau that had been abandoned for 40 years, basically, and then slowly fix it up to become a wedding and event destination center. And they are fun. Their kids are cute. Anyway, totally addictive, I think. And I've been binging it this past week. And it makes me want to go have an event there, which isn't going to happen. But, you know, one can dream, right? So, Escape to the Chateau is what it's called. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to come back in with that Blushing Bride, and you can see fill in there. Up into there a little more. And then, without a whole lot of ink on it, just kind of lightly blend in everywhere. And it smooths the transitions between colors. Kind of final take out white spots. Let's see how we're doing there. Okay, so get rid of that little bit of washi tape. Bring my trimmer back in. Get rid of that. Okay, so now the question is, what color to do the sentiment? I think Pear Pizzazz. You were wondering what I was going to do with the top. Oh, the top sheet of the stencil? Yeah. Or the part that made the stencil? You could pop this up on dimensionals if you wanted. since this is being mostly loose, I'm just going to do it flat. Find my, see how it works with the tear and tape, since I struggled with that Seal Plus. If you struggle getting the tear and tape backing up, your pokey tool is burnish it down, and then your pokey tool really is awesome. Why isn't the tear and tape sticking? That's not supposed to happen. It's going to be one of those days, I can tell already. Burnish down the tear and tape. Oh my goodness, is it something about the ink? Jeez. Okay. It really isn't sticking on that ink. Wow. But it is on here. Unbelievable. Okay. Look at that. Huh. I've never seen that happen. So that's, see, even the glue dot doesn't want to stick there. Okay, we're going to let that dry a little bit and see if we can then work that out. It wants to stick on the basic white just fine. Well, now you know, not everything goes perfectly, no matter how much experience you have. That's better. Goodness. Okay, let's see what we've got here now. Get rid of that. We've got that one and that one that I did today. Oh, let's do some bling on there too, huh? color? What color? What color? What I love is that you can color these plain ones. Some colors work better than others. Apparently Highland Heather, not so much. Okay, so that's Old Olive Light, which should resemble Pear Pizzazz a bit. Yeah, it's just not quite so bright and shiny. Well, it's obviously bright and shiny, but it's a little more, it's not the stark silvery white. That's got a little bit of a green to it. Some of the powder off from the embossing buddy. So there we go. Sorry. Yeah, so there's the first one that I did. And then there's the one that's on today's blog that used the stamps and the metallic specialty paper. You've got to get this. I've now bought three packs of it. I'm using it with Bloom Where You're Planted, my product playground class this month. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. I'm using the rose gold with that one. But anyhow, here's this set of cards. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I hope you try that stencil technique, because it makes it really easy, unless you do something silly like cut too close to the edge. But it makes it really easy to stamp through, or use blending brushes or the sponge daubers. Let's see, what did I want to talk to you about? Thursday, the 24th, is free shipping day from Stampin' Up. So it's a great time to stock up, because those shipping charges can add up as you start to add things in to your shopping. So yeah, if you're in Australia and you're not working with a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. nancysniftynotes.com has a link to my Stampin' Up! Online store. And what else? Yeah, that's most of what I know, I think. I will be back same time, same place next week with another project to share. So I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.